Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from, if this is live or you're watching it on replay. My name is Yitzchak Pierson. I'm a residential real estate broker in the state of Texas. I'm located between New Braunfels. Well, I'm located in New Braunfels, which is between Austin and San Antonio. Today, I'm going to share with y'all a little bit about building your digital resume, then going into branding and marketing. This is something that I'm currently working on in my business. It's an ever-evolving process. I've done a lot in the past few years, been in the business about 4.5 years now, and been able to hit Icon Agent this year. Making it into the top 50 real estate agents in the state of Texas for this year a couple times. Keep falling out, but getting back in there. So super excited. EXP has helped me a lot with my marketing, all of the opportunities, the classes like this that you're watching today. So wanted to give back and share with you some of the things that have helped me over the years. I'm going to share a little bit more about myself just to give you context. I don't have a degree in marketing. I have self-taught or taken classes on all of the things that I've learned, reading books, and that's kind of what's brought me to the current brand strategy that I'm working to utilize. So I'll share a little bit about my background. Was very untraditional. So I was born into a religious cult. I didn't have a birth certificate or social security number. Born in the back of a cab over camper truck in a forest in Oregon. I was homeschooled, so nothing, crazy. I had a lot of self-limiting beliefs because I quit school when I was 13 in the 7th grade. I started working when I was 10 years old, been working full-time since I was 13, mostly manual labor jobs, construction, furniture, pottery, and wrought iron, import business, farm and ranch. Health and fitness wasn't a big part of my journey, and that's something that one of the ways that I first got into personal growth and development was losing weight and getting into exercising. When I was younger, all I wanted was a normal life. I got a job in manufacturing. I did almost 11 years working for a manufacturing company. Got into all kinds of stuff, got the normal life, and it just wasn't everything that it was cracked up to be. Got arrested multiple times. I was just like in a dark place. Lots of the kind of final was I crashed my car into a field. Woke up on the side of the highway in a ditch with cops and EMS around me. I would say real estate investing and real estate probably saved my life. I found that and just kind of went down a path, got into personal growth and development, got my real estate license, and for the last 5 years, I've just been working to build my business. So, context of where I'm at now, I have multiple social media certifications, luxury certifications, real estate designations, over 900 hours of education. I'm a certified professional life coach, success coach, DISC motivators analyst, and a certified high performance coach with Brendan Burchard. I currently sit on the board of directors for my local real estate board, as well as the professional standards committee. Lots of great accolades. I wrote a book about my story, was able to hit Amazon bestsellers list. All of these things to say that it is possible to start from the bottom and work your way up. I share everything now openly because it's more believable and achievable when you know somebody who's done what you're wanting to do. So I'll move on and give you a little bit more about what you're here for. So how to build your digital resume. I'm going to show you the hub and spoke model, which is it's something that I've learned over the years, and I did a really great job at building my online digital resume. Currently, I'm looking into StoryBrand. I went down that rabbit hole, and I I put myself out there. The first 4 years was just getting myself out there, making videos. And a lot of times when you're first starting out, you just have to do the thing and then you will get better at it as you go. And through that, I've iterated and I've paid for education, courses, classes that have helped me get better. My biggest clients came from my YouTube channel. I took a course through Levi and Travis with the Living in Dallas channel. If you're familiar with them, they are also at eXp Realty. So we'll go through a channel by channel audit and we'll look at some 30-day execution plans and KPIs. So this is what I would call the hub and spoke model. When I first started out, it was just, Instagram and Facebook. And then, I built out from there, Google business profile. I got to see Ricky Carruth with eXp Realty speak probably a little over 3 years ago. He has a newsletter that he's been doing and he gave away a free template. I took that template and ran with it. So I've been putting out a newsletter every single week. I just customized it and made it my own. With a lot of things in my business, I looked at what other high-performing agents, either with my brokerage or at other brokerages, I wanted to see what they were doing that was working for them and kind of pick apart what would work for me. So the newsletter has been very successful. I get about 30 to 40% open rate every week. It just keeps me top of mind. I get a lot of feedback that people really enjoy that newsletter and receiving it every week. Instagram, Facebook, I started out with Reels. There's you can do a whole class on making Reels, but essentially you just want to start, pick one channel and then be consistent with it, and then add on another channel. So LinkedIn, TikTok, X, those were channels that I didn't have. So those are some spokes that you can have. Now, essentially, like the newsletter, I use ActiveCampaign to collect emails. So with all of these platforms, the goal now is for them to go back and funnel back into some hub, which is your website, your CRM. If you're giving out a lead magnet to draw people in, partnerships, PR, and books. So articles, news articles, being involved with the community, leveraging partnerships, like doing collaborations, highlighting local businesses so you're showing up in their feed, PR, news articles. So like there's different online news companies that you can get articles featured about. So finding those, that way that the more people search your name or search for real estate agents, just all of these things pop up that give you credibility and authority in your field. Forming relationships with local news reporters. We have something called the Community Impact here that gives a broad overview. Through networking, I met one of their reporters and he's used me as a source for real estate related articles. There's continually building that relationship and partnership with multiple people throughout the community. Books. So I have some certifications in luxury real estate. And one of the things that they point out is you want to, especially if you're wanting to attract more affluent clients and build credibility and authority, if you write a book that is something that gives the more affluent person more likely they're going to work with you if you being on nonprofit boards. So I have put together 2 books that are kind of like giveaways on how to buy your first-time home how to buy a home as a first-time home buyer, and then one how to sell your home for top dollar. And then I actually wrote a book about my life, and that one I print, and I give away more of those copies than anything. So if you have something to give away like a book, it's less likely to get thrown away than a business card. When people know your story and they know more about you, they're more likely to do business with you as well as refer you business. So Google Business Profile is another one that you want to create. It's free and you get more presence on the internet. You show up on Google Maps and you want to treat that like a social profile as well. So I built all of this over the last several years and just kind of put stuff out there en masse. I did have an idea of my brand. I wanted to be educational, informative, professional, community oriented. Those were kind of the things that I catered to. So when I first started, it was making like first time home buyer content. I have since kind of elevated myself from there. I do more community oriented stuff. Working with Levi and Travis on my YouTube channel, it made more sense to go make what it's like to live in New Braunfels, Texas. So, name of my channel is Living in New Braunfels, showing the homes, the lifestyles, the rivers, the events, the festivals, all of those things. And then taking my YouTube videos and chopping them down, either using Opus AI to make smaller clips to just put more stuff out there. So this is the goal, is to just amass a digital resume that speaks for you and builds your reputation and builds rapport with your audience before they ever meet you. So whether you get referred by somebody else or, you get that triangle of trust, but they're still going to go do their own research. So you want to make sure that you have enough in your digital resume for them to find you and see that you have credibility and authority and experience. So the next part that I will talk about is where I'm at now. So there's a book called StoryBrand by Donald Miller, and it's based off of the idea that customers are the hero of the journey, not your brand. Business that clearly shows customers how they can win, earn more attention and trust. When your messaging is clear and focused, customers engage because they see how you can help solve their problems. So bottom line, StoryBrand helps you communicate so that people quickly understand what you do, how it helps them, and what to do next. So this was something that I've worked on a lot. Like I said, I put myself out there and I was selling myself and my brand, and I built my brand, but now I'm working to take a step back and not try and be the main character in their story. All of my clients, they are the main character, and I'm just a guide to help them solve a problem or overcome this big unknown thing that is home ownership for most people, or selling their home. So that's where I'm at currently. And to give some more examples of how the story brand works, there's a framework. It's 7 parts of the story. So you have your character. Your customer is your hero. They want to buy something. They want to buy a home, sell for top dollar, or relocate easily. But they have a problem. They face challenges, whether it's confusion, risk, or uncertainty. That's where you step in. You are the guide. You are the trusted person who understands their problem and has the authority, experience, and proof to help them overcome that problem. So you want to give them a plan. You want to give them something simple, step-by-step plan. We know that the home buying process is a lot of steps, but if you can break it down into bite-size, achievable steps that they'll understand, you can do that even further. So you get them to the first step of a buyer's consultation. You give them kind of an overview, and then you always want to be letting them know what the next step is before they have to ask you. So you have the plan, then you have the call to action. So when you're putting out social media in general, you want to have a call to action, something that's clear, and it's book a call. It's you in the book, they talk about having a transitional call to action, because a lot of people aren't necessarily going to book a call right away. So what I'm currently working on is putting out some maybe quizzes, like a home buyer readiness quiz of, hey, how close are you to buying a home? Take this 5-question quiz to see, and then I get their email address and I'm able to put them into my hub, my CRM, to nurture them and give them some more follow-up until they're ready to actually book a call with me. So transitional call to action or straight call to action, you always want to have that in all of your digital resume. So the current goal of what I'm doing is to put more funnels out there to bring them back to my website. And then you want to have the success. So you have the call to action, then success. Show what life looks like when they follow your plan. So peace of mind, the right home at the right price. But you also want to show them how you helped them avoid failure. So you want to show the risks that they avoid, whether it's stress, lost money, or wrong decisions. You want to make sure that they're aware that you're helping them overcome these things. So those are the current ways that I'm working to incorporate. So here's an example of what it would be like. You got your client, your character, your client, buyer, seller with a goal. You've got your problem, external, internal, philosophical. If you read the book, it'll go more in depth with that. But again, you're the guide, the trusted realtor, the coach with empathy and authority. 3-step plan, call to action, success, avoid failure. I'm going to the next slide just because it gives you a little bit better. So for me, this is kind of what I've come up with, and I'm still tweaking it. But, families, individuals, investors that are planning a move, you've got a problem. They just have uncertainty about the neighborhoods, the pricing, the builders. In steps me. I've done it before. I've helped a lot of people. Helping them clarify their goals. So this is where the buyer or seller consultation comes in, and you just ask them a lot of questions to help them clarify their goals, because sometimes they don't even know what their goals are. So that's like, here's our first step: clarify your goals. Next, we're going to find homes, or we're going to help position to market you to sell your home. And then you have the offer to close once we accomplish that. Now, each one of these 3 steps can have 5 or 10 steps, or breaking it down into smaller steps, but you want to, again, keep it small and simple and have clarity so that they're not overwhelmed with the process. You're going to help them through that. So their call to action, whether it's book a 15-minute call, and then your success: right home, right area, right price, avoid failure, prevent costly mistakes. So going into channel KPIs, all of what I just explained, it may seem overwhelming. I highly recommend getting the StoryBrand book. But if you already have your platforms built out, if you already have a lot of your digital resume, I would just challenge you to start being more intentional of positioning the client, the audience, as the hero of the journey, speaking directly to them rather than you saying, hey, come buy from me, or let me sell your home. It's like, really focus in on the pain points that the audience has. So you always want to be tracking, like whether it's your website conversion, where your leads are coming from. If you're getting calls booked off of your discovery, your websites, or your social media platforms. YouTube, if you're looking at that, you want to see what videos are hitting. Instagram, Facebook shares, profile links, inbound DMs. Always be paying attention. If it gets measured, it gets managed. So being able to measure everything that you're doing. Again, Google Business Profile, treat it like a social media platform. Post on it consistently. Make sure that you're updating your keywords so that it's showing up and you're showing up in like the top agents in your market. If you have a newsletter, this is a great way to collect email addresses, something of value. For my newsletter, I put one of my YouTube videos, which is going to show something going on in the community, or a model home, something. I'll put a short video or a long form video in there. And then I'm really big into personal growth and development. So I put my recommended book and my recommended podcast of the week. And then I put an article of the week where it's something about the city, or 10 ways to save on your electric bill, something that's going to be valuable to them. And then I put an upcoming event that's going to be happening that weekend in our local area. And sometimes I've had local committees reach out to me and say, hey, I love your newsletter. I've got this event coming up. Can you feature it in your newsletter? And so I've done that for people. But knowing your click-through rate, knowing what people are clicking on. If it's an opportunity to highlight your listings as well, occasionally I'll throw those in there, but I don't want it to be real estate spam. I want it to provide value to the people opening up the newsletter so that they're excited to get it every week. And then here's one thing: if you don't want to read the book, I would even use ChatGPT to tell it, hey, here's my business. Here's everything that I do. If you're already using ChatGPT, it should know a lot about you, your area, your market, and then you can create a whole thread in ChatGPT that's based off of Donald Miller's book, StoryBrand. Write me descriptions for this post with the SB7 framework that it makes the audience the main character of the story. So you're immediately hitting their pain points when you're putting out your marketing. And then if you have a lead magnet, whether that's the quiz, a link in bio, something to funnel people back to your website. I'm really enjoying Lofty. I just switched over from the KV Core. With EXP, we have a CRM of choice. So Lofty is great that it has, when I share my listings, has a link for them to look at the listing and a lead capture form where they have to put in their information after a couple minutes. So whatever you can do to get people back in your CRM, your hub, then that's what you want to focus on. And again, if you can get that call to action, whether it's the transitional or get them to book a call directly with you, ChatGPT, if you want to create a content calendar based off of StoryBrand and your brand put together, don't overwhelm yourself. One post, 3 times a week. So, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever works for you, and build from there. With everything, you want to take bite size to build up. Everything that I have currently has taken me 5 years to build. So that is the end of my presentation. I don't know how many people are on this call, but if you have any questions, I know that was a lot in a very short amount of time. I'm happy to expand on any areas. So if you see this recording, feel free to reach out to me. My name is Yitzchak Pierson. My number is 512-749-6532. And if anybody is on the chat right now who wants to ask a question, feel free to unmute yourself and ask me. I'm happy to answer. Okay, I will share one more thing before I hop off. I can put this link, or you can reach out to me for this. If you have not come up with your vision, mission, you want to start with that so that you know what your core values are before going out and building this, and then figuring out who your character is, your ideal customer, what their problem is, and then how you help them. I have this worksheet. If anybody would like it, I'm happy to give it out. All right. I think we have time. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for showing up on this call. And Autumn, do you need anything else from me?
Nope, that's all. Thank you so much for hosting today. It was great.
Thank you for having me.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.